Committee on Public Order and Safety, Information and Communications Technology, and Public Information on the privileged speeches of Representative Robert H. Barbers delivered in the plenary on December 4, 2024, entitled Social Media Bloggers, and on December 16, 2024, entitled Bagong Pilipinas Condemn China Fake News. We convene today to continue our crucial inquiry into the pervasive issues of fake news and misinformation that have increasingly threatened our democratic processes, societal cohesion, and individual understanding of truth. In an age where information is at our fingertips, the challenge of discerning fact from fiction has never been more pronounced or more critical. Hindi na po biro-biro ito dahil nagpalaganap na ng mga fake news. Sagad na at walang pakundangan ang mga taong responsable sa pagpakalat nito sa mga epekto sa taong kanilang pinupuntirya. At pati na rin sa bansa, no one is safe. Wala nang sinasanto. As we delve deeper into this inquiry, we recognize that the impacts of misinformation are manifold, affecting everything from public health to political discourse, and from social justice movements to personal relationships. Fake news does not merely distort reality, it breeds distrust, fuels division, and undermines the very fabric of informed citizenry that is essential to a thriving democracy. We are here to examine the mechanisms that allow misinformation to proliferate, from social media algorithms that prioritize engagement over truth, to the role of various sectors in producing and disseminating false narratives. We must also consider the responsibilities of technology companies, government bodies, and individuals in combating this insidious threat. Moreover, this inquiry aims not only to highlight the problems we face, but to seek solutions. Together, we must explore effective strategies of media literacy, the regulation of digital platforms, and the promotion of credible sources of information. Our commitment to safeguard our collective future from the dangers of misinformation is paramount. To make this hearing more productive, we have invited various resource persons from government agencies, social media influencers, and representatives from social media platforms to explore how they can help address the proliferation of fake news in our country. As mentioned, we are also seeking the expertise of government agencies tasked with combating fake news to understand the extent of their authority and the steps they have taken to address this issue. As we engage in our witnesses and panelists today, I urge all of us to approach this inquiry with open minds and a collaborative spirit. It is only through thoughtful dialogue and a concerted effort that we can uphold the integrity of information and empower individuals to become discerning consumers of news. I look forward to a productive hearing today as we work together to address and mitigate the impacts of fake news and misinformation in our society.
Natin ang mga bawal gawin sa panahon ng kampanya.
May I now recognize my co-chair, Congressman Joey Aquino, for his opening statement.
Thank you, Honorable Johnny Pimentel. Good morning to all of you. Let me extend my gratitude to my colleagues who are here today and on Zoom. My appreciation is also to the resource persons for taking the time to attend our hearing. Your presence signifies your commitment to find a lasting solution to the rampant spread of false information on social media. During the past 2 meetings, we have heard our resource persons discuss the information disorder and its impact on our society. The academe has laid the foundation by explaining the various types of information disorder, how troll accounts and fake news are produced, the consequences of spreading disinformation, and the strategies that we can utilize to combat false narratives on social media. The concerned government agencies presented the actions they have undertaken so far in response to this issue and the challenges that they have encountered. Likewise, the independent media organizations walk us through the fact-checking process, while social media influencers share their experience in creating social media content. Given the recent surge in disinformation posts, it becomes more imperative to explore effective countermeasures. Today, as we continue the joint inquiry, I encourage everyone to actively participate in the discussion. Let us put a stop to the spread of false information that undermines democratic institutions and processes, as well as distorts the way we perceive social realities. Together, let us dissect and uncover the underlying causes of this issue so that we can once and for all push for the policies that would create a social media environment that promotes a culture of responsible social media use, respectful of people's rights and dignity. We have a short video to show to all to provide context on why we're here in this inquiry. Can we have the video, please?
Comsec, can you please present the video? Since they are still preparing the video, before we proceed to other matters, may I request the committee secretary to acknowledge the members of Congress present?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. For today's meeting, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the following members of the Joint Committee. We have Chairperson Jose Chobay Aquino. We have Vice Chairperson Romeo Acop. We have the Deputy Majority Leader Francisco Paulo Ortega. Representative Bienvenido Abante. Representative Rodante Marcoleta. Representative Joseph Stephen Caraps Paduano. Representative Franz Castro. Deputy Majority Leader Jude Asidre. Representative Geraldine Roman. Representative Jefferson Congun, Representative Amparo Maria J. Zamora. Online, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, we have the following. Representative Sani S.L. Lagon, Representative R. Nancy Panaligan, Representative and Vice Chairperson of the Committee on ICT, Igmedio Tanhuatco III, Vice Chairperson Jerdin Jesus Romualdo, Representative Antonio Tony Pet Albano, Deputy Speaker Janet Garin, Deputy Majority Leader, Deputy Speaker Roberto Puno, Representative Raul Buboy Tupas, Representative Robert Ace Barbers, Representative Trixie May Cardema, Representative Roberto Uy, Representative Bambi Emano, Representative Renante Arrogancia, Representative Jaime Castro, Jane Castro, Representative Ed Christopher Go. That's all, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. Thank you.
Is the video presentation ready already? Okay, please proceed with the video presentation. It seems that there is a technical problem, so while waiting for the video presentation, ComSec, can we acknowledge the resource persons present?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For today's hearing,
Before you proceed, may I request the resource persons, once your name is called, please raise your right hand so we can recognize you.
thank you, Mr. Chair. For today's hearing, we're happy to have it as the following resource persons. From the Anti-Money Laundering Council, we have Attorney Romeo Trujillo. From the Bureau of Internal Revenue, we have Attorney Mon Michael Uy. From the Commission on Elections, we have Director John Rex Laudianco and Attorney Maria Lourdes Fogoso Alcain. From the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center, we have Undersecretary Alexander Ramos, the Executive Director, Attorney Alvin Navarro, the Director for Anti-Cybercrime Policy Planning and Legal Affairs. From the Department of Information and Communications Technology, we have Director Rodil Anibal and Mr. Anthony Martin Co. And I understand Undersecretary Jeffrey Iandi will be joining us a little later, Mr. Honor, Your Honors. From the Department of Justice, we have State Counsel Attorney Kirsten Bautista. From the National Bureau of Investigation, we have Attorney Joshua Raimundo, Anthony Alfred Vita, and the Executive Officer Israel McPenny Bausa. From the National Telecommunications Commission, we have Attorney Kathleen J. Lo Egipto. From the Philippine Coast Guard, we have Commodore J. Tariela. From the Philippine National Police, we have Police Major General Nicolas Torre, Police Colonel Andres Simbahon, Police Colonel Larry Buansi, Police Lieutenant Colonel Anacleto Daliva, Police Colonel Columbo Alan Aberia, and Police Captain Yvette Balaudan. From the Supreme Court, from the Presidential Communications Office, we have Secretary J.B. Cruz and Undersecretary Claire Castro. From the ByteDance Philippines or TikTok Philippines, we have Ms. Pichi Paderna and Ms. Bea Bautista. From Vera Files, we have Ms. Ellen Tordesillas, the President and Co-Founder. From the Press One Philippines, we have Mr. John Hart Alowigan and Mr. Lei Jensen San Diego. Also, we have the following resource persons: Ms. Elizabeth Joey Cruz, Ms. Ethel Pineda, Ms. Crisette Laureta Chu, Mr. Mark Anthony Lopez, Attorney J.V. Aspiras, Dr. Richard Tesoro Mata, and Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles. Mr. Chair, I would like to also acknowledge the presence of Congressman Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Your Honors.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yes. May I also request the committee to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Anton Mauricio, who is a Board of Trustee of the Global AI Council, and who could contribute to our discussions today.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And another person who is Ai Ubaldo, Executive Director of the Creators and Influencer Council and Blockchain Council of the Philippines.
Is she present in the room right now? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Before we proceed, may I request those resource persons who have not yet taken their oath to please rise, and I'm directing the COMSEC to administer the oath. All the resource persons who have not taken their oath. COMSEC, please administer the oath.
Those who are attending for the first time, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this inquiry? Please respond with I do. Thank you. Please take your seat.
Do we now have the video presentation? Can we now present the video, COMSEC?
Chair, Mr. Chair, if the video is not yet ready, I have a ready short video. It's only about 40 to 45 minutes. Seconds.
Hindi, yan yata eh.
Seconds.
Hindi, pagbigay, unahin na muna natin to.
Okay.
Because this is the committee presentation. Ano ba ang problema? Do we have the presentation of Senator Marcoleta? 45 seconds or 45 minutes? What is the content of the video?
It's about providing context to what Chair Jobo Aquino said, false narrative and false information.
Ano bang pwedeng ready dyan? What video is ready? Yung kay Marcoleta o yung sa presentation natin? May problema yung presentation natin. Okay na ba?
Ito.
Anyway, while they are preparing the presentations, the discussions on this hearing will be focused on several issues. 1, vloggers. 2, social media platforms, platform policies and enforcement, algorithms and content moderation, fact-checking program, process of taking down posts, advertising and monetization. Number 3, independent media organizations, involvement in fact-checking initiatives like Check.Philippines, database of fake posts and peddlers, engagement with the public, key insights and experience. And the government agencies, if they will have any presentation or statement, NBI, DICT, BIR, AMLAC, PNP, COMELEC, and PCO, of course. And number 5, I don't know if we have celebrities here, but celebrities who are victims of fake news, and then afterwards we'll proceed to the interpellation. Okay na ba ang presentation?
Mr. Chair,
Representative Abante.
If we don't have the presentation yet, I don't think that we have already recognized all of the resource speakers. We would like to ask that all of them be recognized today.
Is there anyone from the resource persons that have not been acknowledged? Yeah, can you take the microphone and then introduce yourself, please?
Magandang umaga po. Ako po si Mary Jean Kiambao Reyes or MJ Kiambao po sa Facebook.
Good morning po, Mr. Chair. Si Aaron Peña po, Old School Pinoy po. Thank you po.
Meron pa bang iba? Wala na?
Rina Seco po for Manila Broadcasting Company.
Okay. Yes. Please recognize yourself.
Mark Gamboa po.
From?
Vlogger po.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I remember also the committee committed during the last hearing that I attended that we will also invite representatives from Philippine Inquirer and Philippine Star because of the issue that I raised. I raised then the issue that we are not only concerned with the fake news and the false narratives and false information being peddled in our society, but we are concerned as well with the truth that are being suppressed. Truth that might have given enlightenment and further information for our people, but they were deliberately and intentionally being suppressed for reasons that they themselves know. This is also alarming as well, Mr. Chair. So, I was promised by the committee last time that in the next hearing, representatives from these two giant broad seats will also be invited to shed light on the
Representative
information that is...
Marcoleta, according to the COMSEC, the representatives from Philippine Daily Inquirer and ano yung isa? Philippine Star?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Were present during the last hearing. However, accordingly, there were no members who asked questions to them. So, is there any representative from Inquirer and Philippine Star at the moment? Wala. So then maybe we can invite them next time. We did not include them anymore today because they were already present during the last hearing.
Does that follow, Mr. Chair, that because nobody questioned them in the last hearing, they can simply absent themselves today?
We required them to attend the last hearing. And now, we have invited other resource persons. May I inquire from the COMSEC, were they invited today? So that we will be fair. According to COMSEC, Congressman Marcoleta, the Philippine Daily Inquirer and Philippine Star were not invited.
So we know the reason why they were not invited today, Madam Chair. The COMSEC has the liberty to decide on this, or the chairperson are the ones who are authorized to decide on whether to invite people or not.
Kong Marcoleta, you know the process. For every hearing, we have a set of resource persons to be invited.
I know that, Mr. Chair.
Yun ang
What I'm saying is, there was a commitment.
It is already very clear that they were not invited today. Because, to be fair with them, they were present during the last hearing and nobody asked questions. Kaya nga, hindi na sila inibita because we are focusing on other resource persons.
Kaya nga po, yun ang gusto kong itanong.
If that would be the case, if you would like to really insist, then we will invite them. Or if you want, if you can wait, we will call them and have them come here to send a representative. But let's not make this an issue. This will delay the hearing.
I am not making this an issue, Mr. Chair. I am simply asking kung sakali pong hindi sila natanong.
Hindi nga natin naimbita, Congressman Marcoleta.
Yun lang po, why would the COMSEC decide by themselves? Sana po yung chair ang magdi-decide. Yun lang naman po ang punto. The COMSEC cannot decide on who to invite or who cannot be invited. And chair po ang may prerogative.
It was a prerogative of the chairman not to invite them because they were not asked questions already. In fairness to them, they were diligent in attending the previous hearing, but unfortunately, nobody asked them a question. So it would be redundant to ask them to be present here again. So let me now proceed, Mr. Marcoleta, to other matters.
May I ask that the short video, Mr. Chair, be shown because that will provide context already.
In that case, Comsec, please.
Ng Iglesia ni Manalo. Iglesia ni Manalo na Diablo na nagsasabing Iglesia daw ni Kristo. Itong si Marcoleta ay talagang demonyo din na katulad po ni Kibuloy. Paano ko nasabi? Mamaya po papaliwanag ko sa inyo kung gaano po kademonyo yung putang inang Marcoletang ito. Itong malaking matang itong diputang ito na masasabi mo talagang diablo rin katulad ni Kibulok.
Mr. Chair, yung vlogger na yan, ang pangalan niya sa social media is Epifanio Labrador. Hindi ko po siya kilala. Narinig po ninyo kung murahin niya yung aking relihiyon na kinabibilangan. At pati po ako pinagmumura niya, tinawag po niya akong demonyo, lahat. Pero hindi po ako kumikibo. Ang sinasabi ko lang, kung tayo talaga ay i-address po natin ang mga ganitong klaseng paninira na mga narratives, ay siguro po pati itong mga ganitong klaseng tao ay may patawag din natin. Ako po, kahit na po ano pang sabihin nila, I will just stay as I am. As transparent and as accountable as I am. Because right now, what we need are people that can probably criticize us to the height of even abusing their rights. Pero ako po, walang problema sa kanila. Ay darating din po ang panahon that these people will be rendered useless. At wala nang maniniwala sa kanila until time will come na masasabi ng tao that they are stupid, useless people and they are simply liars. Tayo po, ang ating role lang basta ayusin lang po natin ang ating pagsisilbi. Kahit ano pong sabihin nila sa atin. Tingnan po niyo yung pagmumura nila sa akin. Wala naman po akong hindi ko po nga kilala yan. Kung murahin niya po ako, parang kayo po, narinig po ninyo lahat kung anong pinagsasabi niya. But people, I think, will not believe him. Dahil hindi po ako yun, yung sinasabihan niya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
That is precisely the objective of this hearing, Representative Marcoleta. So, are you requesting that Mr. Epifanio be called to be invited for the next hearing?
By all means, Mr. Chair, I will thank you for that.
Comsec, please take note. The said person that has been mentioned earlier by Representative Marcoleta will be invited for the next hearing. Before we proceed, may I acknowledge the presence online of Representative Mix Villaferte, Representative Sandro Gonzales. And finally, can we now present the committee video presentation?
Anumang impormasyon, mabilis na maa-access sa pamamagitan ng internet at social media. Please rin at komportable sa online marketplace. Trabaho ba ang kailangan mo? Marami ring online job postings. Pero ang problema, mayroong mga bad actors na nagkalat sa internet. Kung di ka maingat, mabibiktima ka ng online seller na scammer. Ang binili mong cellphone, bato pala ang laman.
Bato! Mama Eden, bato! Mama Eden, bato ang laman! Nandun na yung pera ko, Mama Eden!
Ang online job application mo, elaborate phishing scam pala para sa identity theft. At ang news na binasa at tinanonood mo ay maaaring disinformation campaign o fake news. Tingnan nyo lamang ang mga bidyong ito na nagsisirculate sa social media kung saan sinasabing ang Luzon kasama ang Palawan ay dati umanong teritoryo ng China. At natatandaan nyo pa ba ang mga celebrity death hoax na ito? Patay na raw si Chris Aquino, si Kuya Kim, si Gary Valenciano, si Doc Willie Ong at si Jaime Fabregas. At maging ang death hoax ni Celine Dion, kumalat rin sa ating mga social media feed. Marami pang ibang example niyan. Pero ang pinakamabigat ay maraming disinformation campaign na layuning guluhin ang ating lipunan. Sa ating bansa na mayroong 87 million internet and social media users, tinatayang 70% ang nakabasa na o nakapanood na ng political fake news. Sa survey naman ng social weather stations, lumalabas na 51% ng mga Pilipino ang hindi kayang tukuhin kung fake news ang kanilang nababasa o napapanood. Mabigat ang implikasyon nito. Ang propaganda, maling impormasyon at peking balita ay maaaring magresulta upang mabawasan ang tiwala ng taong bayan sa mga demokratikong proseso. Kaya mahalaga ang pagpapatibay ng mga safeguards sa pamamagitan ng lehislasyon ng mga batas na magbabalanse sa karapatan ng malayang pamamahayag at pagbabantay sa fake news. Yan ang paraan upang supilin ng mga bad actors na layuning manggulo sa ating bansa.
Okay, thank you, Comsec. Before we proceed with the interpellations,
Mr. Chair,
yeah,
do we have other bloggers that we have today? We would like to know if there are other bloggers present right now.
Comsec, can you read again the vloggers present and those who are absent?
Your Honors, in attendance for today's meeting, the following vloggers: Ms. Elizabeth Joey Cruz, Ms. Ethel Pineda, Ms. Crisette Laureta Chu.
Mr. Chair, they're here. We'd like them to stand up and acknowledge the recognition.
We already did earlier. I just told them to raise the right hands. Anyway, we have 18 invited social media personalities or quote-unquote bloggers, and I don't know how many are present. But anyway, we'll now proceed with the... can you read again the the bloggers present?
Ms. Elizabeth Joey Cruz, Ms. Ethel Pineda, Ms. Crisette Loretta Chu, Mr. Mark Anthony Lopez, Ms. Mary Jane Kiambao Reyes, Dr. Richard Tesoro Mata, Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles, and Mr. Mark Louis Gamboa.
So there are at least about 7 to 8 out of 18 social media personalities present.
Mr. Chair, some of these bloggers have their lawyers with them. So I'd like to find out if these lawyers would be allowed
Yes,
to
I
speak.
think former Secretary Silvestro Bello is standing as a lawyer for the social media personalities, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to confirm that we represent Ms. Crisette Chu as our client, and the other bloggers and who are here present and who have their own counsel, but we collaborate with the third counsel, Your Honor.
Thank you. Representative Paduano.
Mr. Chairman, can we ask Attorney Bello? Sir, can you mention all the names that you represent as counsel? Kasi po, for the information of everyone, si Attorney Bello po has already entered his appearance during the previous hearing, where in fact he was allowed to speak for on behalf of the clients during that hearing. Now, just to reiterate, Attorney, Sec, paki-mention po kasi we have invited at least 18 bloggers, and present as of today is only 7 or 8 mentioned by the COMSEC. So who are those bloggers being represented as counsel by former Secretary Bello?
Yes, Your Honor, as I stated earlier, we represent Ms. Crisette Chu. And in addition, Your Honor, as collaborating counsel, we have the following bloggers, Your Honor. Ms. Mary Jane Reyes, Ms. Trixie Angeles, Ms. Joy Cruz, Ms. Aaron Peña, Mr. Ahmed Paglinawan, Ms. Ethel Pineda Garcia. That's all, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, how many of them are present?
Can you count, Comsec, ilan ang social media personalities na present in your record? Out of 18. Correct. My estimate was 8. Representative Paduano.
Thank you, Chairman. Anyway, out of the 8 mentioned by former Secretary Attorney Bello, ilan po yung nandito ngayon?
8.
No. The client being represented by Attorney Bello.
They are 7, Your Honor. Present
7
this morning.
present today.
Yes, together with our client, Ms. Cruzette Chu.
And those absent today, out of 8 ata yung, you mentioned 8 names?
In addition to our client on record, Ms. Chu, Your Honor, we are collaborating with the council, with their counsel Attorney Gonzales, and they are only 6 present this morning, Your Honor.
And who are those absent today? Paki-mention na po yung absent. Para ma-check lang po sa record doon sa invitation that was sent to them. Kung ano pong status nun.
We only represent, Your Honor, those, in collaboration, only those who are present this morning, Your Honor.
Only those?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's, Mr. Chairman, that's on record that they will only represent those present today.
Yes, Your Honor, those present today. Only in collaboration with their counsel on record, Your Honor.
Sec, hindi ko po ma-remember if the co-counsel of those bloggers have already entered their appearance during the previous hearing.
No. You don't want. Your Honor, our recollection is only to our counsel, our client on record, Ms. Chu. As to the other bloggers present this morning, we only appear in collaboration with their counsel on record, Your Honor.
So, all those counsel for those other bloggers present today, nandito ba?
Ano ba? Ano? Okay. Ito si Juan. Si Ethel. Now, I mentioned already Dr. Ethel Pineda and MJ Q. Reyes. And also with Attorney Trixie Angeles, Your Honor. And Ahmed Paglinawan, Your Honor. We mentioned that earlier.
I understand there are 7 names you mentioned, but what I'm asking is there a co-counsel for these bloggers na nandito ngayon?
Wala, Your Honor.
You only represent them?
Yes, Your Honor. Wala kaming ano. Only those present this morning ang nire-represent namin only in collaboration with the recorded counsel, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. But anyway, Chairman, just for the record, with regards to all those invitees and those resource persons that was issued a show cause and subpoena, we'll discuss it later, Mr. Chairman, for the status of all those resource persons that was issued show cause orders and subpoena. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We'll now proceed to tackle the... Yes, please state your name to be recognized.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. I'm Dr. Richard Tesoro Mata. I'm one of the social media. I have a counsel, Your Honor. Her name is Attorney Faye Singson.
Good morning, Your Honors. I am here to assist Dr. Richard Mata, Your Honor. I am Attorney Faye Singson, Your Honors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll now proceed to, before that, may I acknowledge the presence of Representative Daphne Lagon online and Representative Zia Alonto Adyong, who is present.
Dun sa ano, malapit sa
Please state your name.
Malamang. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I would like to I would like to inform the Honorable Committee the presence of my counsel with me to be put on record.
Okay, your counsel, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm Attorney Mark Anthony N. Manuel, counsel for Ms. Elizabeth Joey Cruz. Thank you.
Okay, noted. We'll now proceed. The first issue that to tackle is the social
Chair?
media personality. Representative Pablo Ortega.
Sorry. Siguro po, Mr. Chair, maganda po na kunin din yung ginagamit nilang mga pangalan, yung mga vloggers. Kasi may parang account name po sila, saka screen name or aliases to be included po sa record as... Kasi may attendance po sila as their individual names. Maganda po siguro makuha din po yung account names.
Comsec,
Thank
please
you.
attend to it. Para hindi na natin isa-isahin pa. Can you approach the social media personalities? What are the names that they're using in their blog? Are there any statements from the social media personalities? Do you have a leader or a spokesperson? Yes, proceed. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes for a statement.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Your Honor. This would be my individual statement. I am appearing before your esteemed committees upon your invitation as a resource person and to give due honor to and respect to our public institutions. Ako po si Mary Jean Kiambao Reyes or MJ Kiambao sa Facebook, co-founder ng isang humanitarian organization. I am actively involved in providing assistance to indigent pediatric patients and communities affected by natural disasters for almost 2 decades now. And as such, I'm exposed to the sufferings of many of our countrymen. Dahilan kung bakit ho masidhi ang aking layunin na labanan ang korupsyon na siyang nagdudulot ng masidhing paghihirap. Nauunawaan ko na ako po ay ipinatawag sa hearing na ito bilang isang resource person ukol sa usaping fake news. Dahil sa mga nagkalat na balita ngayon kung saan labis na nadudungisan na ang aking pangalan at nadidikit sa mga salitang fake news purveyor, pogo bloggers, China paid, narco blogger, nadudungisan ang pangalang pinakaiingatan at ko at ng aking mga magulang, kaya nais ko lamang po sanang linawin ang mga sumusunod. Bagamat walang masama sa pagiging isang blogger, I cannot really categorize myself as such. Ako po ay isang karaniwang Pilipino lamang na nagsusulong ng good governance at free speech mula pa noon, bago pa man lumaganap ang paggamit ng social media. Hindi po ako pro or anti-Marcos or Duterte or any other politician. Ako po ay pro-good governance. Sumusuporta po ako sa bawat pinuno at bawat Pilipinong nagtataguyod ng maayos at malinis na pamamahala at malayang pamamahayag at pagpuna. Hindi po ako tagabalita. I am not a journalist. I only react and opine to news and current events online. I criticize and yes, I admit sometimes I have my biases, but I do not hit below the belt or resort to ad hominem statements. Issue-based lamang po ako. Lalong hindi po ako nagsusulat o deliberately nag-share ng fake news. Bagamat hindi ko pinasok ang mundo ng pagbabalita, ako po ay isang mass comm degree holder. Isa rin akong editor-in-chief noon at dala-dala ko pa rin ang mga pinag-aralan ko at code of ethics ng mga mamamahayag. Ang bawat opinion ko at reaksyon sa social media ay base po sa aking katotohanan ayon sa aking karanasan, pinaniniwalaan at prinsipyong pinanghahawakan. Hindi po ako tumatanggap ng anumang bayad o pabor mula sa pogo, sa narco, China o sa kahit sinong politiko. I have always been against all forms of gambling and illegal drugs. Kabilin-bilinan po ng aking mga magulang, magdildil ka na ng asin. Huwag ka lang magnakaw at huwag mong ipagbibili ang iyong dangal. Nag-aral po akong maigi at kumayod ng husto para maitaguyod ko ang aking pamilya at ang aking sarili sa marangal na paraan. Kaya masakit po na madikit sa mga ganong salita na yung mga fake news purveyor at narco-bloggers. Ngayon naman sa usaping China at West Philippine Sea, I do not claim expertise on this matter. Ang sa akin lamang bilang isang Pilipino, marapat lang na protektahan natin ang bawat isla ng ating bansa sa legal at mapayapang pamamaraan. I am afraid, Your Honor, na wala po ako masyadong maiambag sa usapin ng fake news, pogo bloggers, narco bloggers, as I am not in any way involved in any of that. I also cannot claim expertise on social media and blogging. In fact, my SOCMED account is not even monetized. Now, given my limited knowledge on the topics of this legislative hearing, ang maimumungkahi ko lamang sa ngayon ay dalawang bagay lamang. Una, labanan po natin ang fake news sa pamamagitan ng paglalabas ng mas maraming reliable information mula sa iba't ibang ahensya. Pangalawa, and more importantly, paigtingin po natin ang edukasyon ng bansa. Gawin nating mas matatalino ang mga Pilipino so they themselves can more easily decipher what is true from what is false. And I think everyone here sa mga kasama ko sa social media, support the efforts of the TRICOM. We agree that free speech and freedom of expression must be protected and that fake news, disinformation must be eradicated. These are our common grounds that unite us. We wish TRICOM every success. Yun lamang po sa ngayon ang aking maimumungkahi. Sakaling may mga issue sa mga susunod na pagkakataon ukol sa free speech, anti-corruption at disaster relief operations kung saan mas doon po ako linya, at doon yung mas marami kong maiaambag, ay handa po akong makipagtulungan. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes. Just a reminder to the members, after the statements or discussing the issues, we will proceed to the interpellation. As usual, we have a rule for those who would like to interpellate. Please have your names listed for a proper and orderly hearing. Are there any other statement? Can you limit it to 2 minutes? Okay. Please state your name.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Dr. Ethel Pineda Garcia, 64 na taong gulang at isang manggagamot. No, ako po ay pinadalhan ng imbitasyon na dumalo sa hearing, sa unang hearing, kung saan ako po ay magiging isang resource person tungkol sa fake news.
Pwede ilapit po yung mic. Reminder to all the members and resource persons, may problema po tayo sa audio. So, when you speak, please ilapit lang po yung mikropono.
Salamat po. Nang ako po ay pinadalhan ng imbitasyon na dumalo sa hearing kung saan ako po ay magiging isang resource person tungkol sa fake news at ang pagpondo ng mga pogo at narcos, ay nasurpresa po ako dahil sa mga sumusunod. Hindi po ako gumagawa o nagsusulat ng news o balita. Ako po ay nagkokomentaryo lamang sa mga nababasa ko. Sa aking pagkakaunawa ay maroon tayong kalayaan na sabihin ang ating mga opinyon sa mga pangyayari at sa ating kapaligiran ayon sa saligang batas. Wala po akong kaalaman sa pogo at narcos. Ako po ay nag-aral ng mahabang panahon. Nalalaman niyo naman po kung gaano kahaba ang pag-aaral ng medisina at pagkuha ng espesyalisasyon. Sa akin pong panig ay 2 beses po ako ang nag-specialize. At pag-practice ng medisina sa hangad na mabuhay ng marangal na di umaasa sa iba, lalo na sa masamang pinanggalingan ng pera. Sa aking pananaw, at ito ay sinabi ko sa unang sagot ko sa committee, ay hindi ako karapat-dapat na resource person dahil sa wala akong alam dito. At kung may issue tungkol sa kalusugan Tulad ng sinabi ko, ay handa akong tumulong sa gaano man na aking makakaya. At ito po naman ay ginampanan ko habang tayo ay nagkakaroon ng pandemya sa COVID. Kasama po akong dumulog sa Korte Suprema dahil nais ko pong malinawan kung ano nga ba ang dapat. Nananalig po ako na ang batas ay dapat sundin ng lahat. Ang aking pamumuhay ay simple lang. Wala po akong karanyaan. Ang buhay ko ay itinoon ko sa pag-aalaga ng aking pamilya bilang breadwinner sa mahabang panahon. May anak akong nangangailangan ng special na alaga at may ama akong 95 years old na umaasa sa akin. Kahit ako ay mag-isa na ngayon sa buhay, ay nagsisikap akong itaguyod sila sa abot ng aking makakaya sa malinis na paraan. Wala po akong kapangyarihan maliban sa isinasaad ng batas na ating mga karapatan. Ang aking lakas ay nanggagaling sa malinis na konsensya. Kasiyahan na nawa tayo ng may kapal.
Okay, thank you. Yes, 2 minutes.
Good morning. Ako po si Dr. Richard Tesoro Mata. I am a pediatrician for more than 20 years sa Davao City and Panabo City. Naging health blogger po ako about 7 years na. So yes, I have some experience na about social media. At tumabot na din ng about 3 million yung ating total followers. I understand that I have been invited to this forum as a resource person in aid of legislation. So here's po my 2 cents. Agree po ako sa inyo, Your Honors, na dumadami na po ang mga fake news online. Karamihan ay mga clickbait, yung gumagawa ng fake headlines para mapunta ka sa online shops dahil may commission sila to earn or just to gain more followers. Meron ring mga intentional na fake stories in order to destroy someone's reputation. Do we need to make a fake news law? In my opinion, may Cybercrime Prevention Act law na po tayo, which nasa inyo na po yan if you need to amend it. Noong March of 2024, isang former senator na married to a celebrity ay nag-file ng cyber libel sa isang YouTuber dahil sa mga malicious and fake stories about them. Based on that law, cyber libel is defined as the act of defaming or making false statements about someone online through computer system or similar means. So I do believe that the law is already there and functioning as it is. And I want to suggest is something like a KBP or a Kapisanan ng Broadcasters ng Pilipinas, an NGO body that is neutral about politics or religion, that should be composed of trustworthy social media practitioners so we can police ourselves formally. Such NGO body is where we can ask assistance regarding a certain controversial post. Such NGO body can also assess if it's freedom of speech or fake news. Such NGO body can issue warnings and reminders to the influencers in question if seen necessary. That is what we lack because what we have now are just AI that detects posts that are against community standards. And usually, if you report an influencer, it's hard to talk to a person in charge, but what we have are automated reporting system only. I do believe if we can make this kind of neutral body with the guidance of KBP, we can lessen the fake news, solving the issues without much hassle of filing cases in the court. But of course, for extreme cases, a person can still use the cybercrime law, which is already available. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there anybody else who would like to make statement from the social media personalities?
Chair.
Yes. Are you a blogger also?
Yes po.
Okay. Make it short, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Mark Gamboa po, political vlogger. Pangatlong appearance ko na po ito sa TRICOM. Gusto ko lang pong masaya po ako na nakasama na po natin ngayong umaga. Ito pong mga kaibigan po natin sa DDS side, lalo na si Miss Crisette Chu. Yan. Kamusta po? Ako po ang gusto ko lang po sabihin, bukod po sa fake news, kasi po dahil sa aming mga vloggers na rin, nagkaroon po ng culture of hate hatred, toxicity sa social media. So para sa akin, maganda po yung pagtitipon na ito, na nagkakasama-sama po lahat, para po mapag-usapan po yan at makita po ng publiko naman na pwede namang magkaiba ng politika kaming mga vloggers, pero at the same time, ay pwedeng may respeto pa rin sa isa't isa. And also, kasi po nasanay na po ang mga kababayan po natin sa kultura na porket online, kung ano-ano po yung sasabihin doon po sa mga personalidad o sa mga tao, mga masasakit na salita. Ang maganda nga po dito, nandito po tayo ngayon, nandito yung mga vloggers from different political camps. Kung meron silang gustong sabihin sa mga, for example, kay General Torre dito, pwede po nilang sabihin harapan po. Hindi po yung sa social media lang, at pwede po nilang face-to-face po sabihin. Kasi po minsan po, ang nangyayari po dahil social media, sa pagka-toxic po, doon na po, kumaga mas tumatapang po yung mga kababayan po natin na hindi naman kayang sabihin face-to-face. So, yun lang naman po. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll now proceed with the social media platforms. We have here the representative from TikTok, Ms. Pichi Paderna. You now
Good morning,
have the floor.
Mr. Chair.
You now have the floor.
Mr. Chair, we actually have a video that we'd like to share with the Honorable Committee. We'd like to request the committee secretary to play the video, please.
Comsec, is the video ready already? Then we'll get back to the social media platform. While the video is being prepared, we proceed to the independent media organizations. Do we have representatives from the independent media organizations? Meron po ba? Seems wala. So we'll now go to the government agencies. NBI, do you have any statement?
None, Your Honor.
DICT,
None, Your Honor.
BIR, AMLA, PNP, General Torre, the flavor of the month of TikTok.
None, Your Honor, sir.
To the COMELEC,
None, Your Honor. Thank you po.
and of course to the PCO. Do you have any statement?
Sir, I would like to make a statement. First of all, thank you for inviting the Presidential Communications Office in this very big fight against fake news. The Presidential Communications Office is pleased to speak at the Joint Committee hearing the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Information and Communications Technology and Public Information. The issue of fake news, illegal gambling, deep fakes, pornography, hate speech is the biggest fight right now of our generation. It destroys the very fabric of our society, and we have to protect our children not only of fake news, but all these bad things that we see in this technology platform that we have. But more on the vloggers, we should concentrate a regulation on the platforms. The platforms like Meta, TikTok, YouTube are foreign platforms. They do not have a base here. When you complain for these posts that we can take down, it takes a long time. So we have to focus on the platforms, first of all, to self-regulate them. If you want self-regulation, or maybe come up with an operational system between the PCO, DOJ, and the DICT to identify these fake posts, to identify fake information. You see, what's happening to us is we are being divided online. It's very polarized. And yet, it's Filipinos and Filipinos fighting each other. It is not good for our country to see our countrymen being divided by hate speech, by pornography, that's very easily accessed by our generation. You know, I was talking to the West Philippine Sea earlier about communicating the West Philippine Sea issue to our countrymen. I said, never again Never again that the Philippines will lose any part of our country, just like what happened in Sabah. In the Sabah issue in the 1960s, if you look at it, Sabah was owned by the Royal Sultanate of Sulu for a long time. The Malaysians were paying rent to the Philippines. We tried to get it and claim it as our own. But what did the Malaysians do to us? They pitted Filipinos against Filipinos. They supported a Muslim secessionist movement in the South using religion and race or against each other. Filipino Christians, Filipino Muslims fighting each other. So eventually, because they divided us and eventually conquered part of our territory, we lost Sabah. And imagine if Sabah is like as rich as Mindanao, even probably richer than Mindanao. The Petronas Towers were built because of the minerals and properties of Sabah. It's happening again. This is happening, but now a foreign actor using fake news to destroy each other. So what we want on the PCO side, we urge Congress to join our digital crusade against combating fake news by strengthening our laws, such as the Cybercrime Prevention Act, and introducing internationally accepted policies and standards for content moderation on social media. I respectfully encourage our honorable lawmakers to consider the framework of the Digital Services Act, a recently adopted EU regulation which prevents illegal and harmful activities online and the spread of disinformation while still ensuring that the freedom of expression is upheld. The danger right now, sir, the greater danger right now, aside from fake news, is deep fake, wherein you put a person's face on another person. There were several complaints raised with the PCO that said, sir, tignan mo naman, may mga known personalities recruiting on advertising, mga scams. Yung mga OFW natin, nai-scam. Dahil nakalagay yung boses ng isang kilalang personality or isang kilalang negosyante, pero hindi naman totoo yun. Imagine if you put the head of the COMELEC commissioner doon na ang nagsasabi, akala mo deepfake din. It is a national security concern that we really have to fight, not against each other, but collectively, we fight together. We fight as one. Because, you know, the fight against fake news should be prioritized. We said before, right, it was the fight against illegal drugs. But in this generation, the fight against fake news, deep fakes, they bring so many social media ills. Look, we now live in two worlds, the cyber world and the real world. The children right now spend more time on the cyber world. And if you give them constant disinformation, if you give them constant lies and negative news, what will happen to the next generation of Filipinos? We will forever be divided, just like what's happening in the United States. It's now happening in our country. It's so hard now to reach out to the yellows, to the greens, to the reds, or wherever political camp you belong to. What we need to do is to unite. Look at what happened, example, to Congressman Rodante Marcoleta. Pinagbumura siya. Nilait-lait ang kanyang relihiyon. Tama ba yun? And yet, there's no regulation. There's no regulation. There's no punishment. So, on the part of PCO, we're trying to come up with an operational system wherein the DICT, the Department of Justice, and PCO should come up together to take down all these posts we consider national security concern and posts that divides Filipinos and spreading of fake news, and also the fight against illegal online gambling on the internet. It's not just fake news. There's so many ills there. But of course, with technology, there's good and there's bad. It can be a force of good, but we make sure that online, the voice of truth should be louder than lies. It should always be louder than lies. Because now, a lie told 1,000 times drowns out the truth. We don't know what the truth is anymore. So we make sure here, as PCO, we make sure that in PCO, our foundation are truthful facts. I urge everybody here, let's get our acts together. We are not the enemies. We should stand together. The enemy is fake news. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sec Ruiz. Before we continue, may I acknowledge the presence of Deputy Speaker David J.J. Suarez, and online we have Honorable Nelson Dayanghirang, Honorable Raul Daniel Manuel, and Honorable Celso Rehencia. We will now proceed with the interpellation. As I've said earlier, to have an orderly hearing, may I request all the members who would like to ask questions to have your names listed. Please state your name. You have something to say?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I would just like to inform the committee that Ms. Sasrogando Sasot was not recognized and was kicked out of the Zoom link that she was provided for.
Unfortunately, ma'am, the Zoom meeting is exclusively for members only. Hindi po para sa hearing yun. The Zoom meeting is for members and the committee secretariat staff lang po. So if she's here in Manila, then she can attend the hearing. Abutin pa naman to ng mga another 3 to 4 hours. We have already 9 members who will be interpellating. We cannot, we would like to apologize because we cannot really accept that. It's exclusive for members and committee secretariat only.
Mr. Chair, she was provided a Zoom link. A staff a while ago provided a Zoom link.
According to the COMSEC, we did not provide anyone, any resource person, a Zoom link. So most probably it was leaked by a staff or a member. We don't know where the source came from. But again, unfortunately, sad to say, we cannot accept her because I reiterate what my previous statement, that it is exclusive for members of Congress only, or rather of this committee and committee secretariat. Okay? So please take note. We'll now proceed with the... may I acknowledge the presence of Honorable Ernesto Junicio. We will now proceed with the interpellation. First on the list, Representative Dante Marcoleta. You have the floor.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. What I would like to say is not an interpellation. Maybe I will just make a very general manifestation, Mr. Chair, because up to now, I am not yet sure how how can we address this looming problem that the country faces in relation to fake news and deep fakes, false narratives and false information in the face of certain gold standard set by our Supreme Court. This gold standard, Mr. Chair, came in the form of decisions. May I just cite at least 4 of them, Mr. Chair, for our sake. This concerns the conduct of public men, people in government, and how criticisms can be hurled against them and how should they respond to these criticisms. I think these are very important standards, Mr. Chair, in the wake of our desire to probably make laws in relation to free speech. The first one, Mr. Chair, is the case of Yabut versus Office of the Ombudsman, 303 Philippines 319. And I quote this: a public official, more especially an elected one, should not be onion-skinned. Strict personal discipline is expected of an occupant of a public office because a public official is a property of the public. He is looked upon to set the example how public officials should correctly conduct themselves, even in the face of extreme provocation. The second standard, or the second case that reiterates this standard, Mr. Chair, is United States versus Bustos, 37 Philippines 731. And I quote this: "The interest of society and the maintenance of good government demand a full discussion of public affairs, complete liberty to comment on the conduct of public men is a scalpel in the case of free speech. The sharp incision of its probe relieves the abscesses of officialdom. Men in public life may suffer under a hostile and unjust accusation. The wound can be assuaged with the balm of clear conscience. A public officer must not be too skinned with reference to comment upon his official acts." The third one, Mr. Chair, is Sason versus CA, 325 Philippines 1053. On this point, the rule is that defamatory remarks and comments on the conduct of acts of public officers which are related to the discharge of their official duties will not constitute libel if the defendant proves the truth of the imputation. And the last one, Mr. Chair, is De Leon versus People 776 Philippines 701. And I quote this: "While petitioners' declarations may be offensive, they are not actionable by themselves. Being sensitive has no place in this line of service, more so when allowing otherwise has the potential to create a chilling effect on the public." Mr. Chair, why am I stressing this gold standard as enunciated by some of the important decisions of the Supreme Court? Because as public men, as public servants, I have cited an example earlier when one blogger attacked me indiscriminately, called me demonyo and all this. My defense to that, Mr. Chair, is not probably to ask him in public to explain or even ask for an apology or he be restrained by this committee, but I will just stand upright, as upright as I can and clean as I am, because people would judge me for what I am and for what this person could do against me. Yun lang po ang nakikita kong parang armas natin. Kapag nakikita nila tayo as transparent as we can to these people, people can easily distinguish na wala yan, sinungaling yan. Like, yun lang ang gusto kong maging karanasan ng tao, kahit na siguro hindi ko na siya demanda o pagalitan o gumawa ng action against him. It is enough that people would not listen to him anymore. That he will be rendered useless and people would just judge him as, you know, as a liar, somebody who peddles something that cannot be accepted by people. To me, that is already a consolation, Mr. Chair. So kung ating pong mga vloggers ay maaring napapasobra po yung kanilang pagkikriticize sa atin, talaga kung minsan po ay ganon. We have to strike a balance between the public affairs, between the public issues that must be deliberated completely and in the light of an extensive discussion of public affairs of government. You have to strike a balance between the importance of these issues discussed in public and the hostile accusation that might arise from this. Yun po yung gusto ko po. May mga batas naman po tayo, once they attack us on a private side, ang sinasabi po ito very, very easily, that could constitute libel pagka personal na po. Kagaya po nung tinawag niya po akong demonyo, okay, yun na po yung personal na po yun. It's up to me to act kung gagamitin ko pa po yun. Pero sa akin po ay parang ano na lang yun. Katulad po nung nakaraan na pagdinig po, hindi ko makalimutan, isang abogado pa naman yun na nagbablog po na sinabi niya na huwag kayong maniwala sa pakulo at panliling lang ni Marcoleta. You were here, Mr. Chair and members, nung tanungin ko po siya, ano po ba po yung basihan ninyo na ako po'y nandin lang. Wala po siyang maisagot ng kahit ano. He is a lawyer and he was allegedly teaching in a very reputable law school. So yun po, Mr. Chair, pwede ko po siyang demanda ng, pwede ko po siyang padisbar. No? Iniisip ko lang po na pwede kong gawin yun because as a lawyer, ay maling-mali po yung ginawa niya because we have our own code na talaga pong pinagsisikapan naming itaguyod sa mga members po ng Philippine Bar. So, meron po tayong mga batas na umiiral, Mr. Chair. May libel, ando na po yung maring madisbar po yung mga kamukha namin na members ng Philippine Bar na nasosobrahan na po yung sinasabi nila. Pero sa mga vloggers po na maaaring kinikriticize tayo because our conduct is public. Yung pagsisilbi natin is public. They need some kind of a medium. Nakikita po nila tayo that we should be as transparent and accountable as we can be. Sa akin po ay binibigay ko na lang pong isang karapatan para sa kanila. Wag lang po sana yung sumobra po na maging personal na po ang mga pangyayari. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Paalala lang po sa lahat, pakilapit po yung mikropono dahil may problema tayo sa audio. Medyo mahina po. The next to interpolate, Representative Rods Gutierrez. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I understand we have quite a lot of topics to discuss today. And first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to our resource persons for attending after this whole time that they have not, no? Although we have to recall that twofold po yung privileged speech ni Congressman Barbers. On one hand, we have the proliferation of fake news of the vloggers na binabanggit, and I'm sure we'll be getting to that at a later time. But one thing that we'd like to discuss is also that might have been forgotten is the other privileged speech of the Honorable Barbers regarding fake news in China. So this is something that we wanted to highlight in the previous hearings. However, wala po yung the social media platform most involved. Luckily today, we'd like to thank them for their appearance. Nandito po yung ByteDance, owners of TikTok. So we could now discuss this issue thoroughly. To begin po, I'd like to direct my questions to the good spokesperson of the Coast Guard, Commodore Tariela. Commodore Tariela, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Good afternoon na pala po. Good noon. Sir, meron po kasi earlier this month to the Honorable Chairman, kumakalat na post sa Chinese social media platforms. And instead of just limiting yung discussions sa West Philippine Sea, parang expanded na po yung kanilang claim. Lately, their claim now is that nagsasabi na ang China ay nagmamayari at namamahala sa Palawan for a period of 1,000 years sa Zhenghe Island. Ito rin daw yung basis for the island to return to China. Are you aware po, sir, of this post in relation to yung West Philippine Sea issue natin?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, you can proceed.
Yes, sir. The Philippine Coast Guard is aware of the social media post that is circulating in the different social media platforms.
Mr. Chair, I think the committee secretary, just for the information of the body, is the committee secretary prepared to flash this figure 1 po? Para lang makita natin. Let's not give it dignity. We will not play the video. But just to have, para may idea lang po ang ating mga mamamayan kung ano po yung itsura nitong post. Ito po yon. Is this the same post that you're referring to, Commodore Tariela?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, with your permission, I wish to bring attention to this honorable committee these screenshots showing an individual defending China's false claims over Palawan online. These comments were captured by the Facebook page Palawan Daily as part of efforts to debunk these false claims. This is a disturbing example of blatantly fake claims which are now spreading across the internet. While these claims are clearly ludicrous, there is no telling how many people may believe it or what kind of effect such belief could have. What is clear, however, is that there are individuals or entities who consciously created this content, clearly aiming to undermine our national sovereignty. So as you can see po, aside po sa post na, yung sa right side po, yung lumalabas actually, parang video po siya, but then even in the comments, there are people defending this. And I think it would be hard for us to determine the authenticity of these persons, Chinese nga po yung characters. That is, an issue po ng fake news in relation to the West Philippine Sea is that some of the actors are beyond our territory po, no? So that's another aspect that would add complexity to the regulation of these things. But we'll go into that po siguro with TikTok later on. So, Commodore Tariela, sa buong panahon mo po sa PCG, nakarinig ka na ba ng parehong balita na kinaklaim ng China ang Palawan? Kailan po ninyo unang nalaman na may kumakalat na balita na sinasabing pag-ari ng China ang Palawan?
Well, Mr. Chair, this is the first time that I heard about this, about the social media post. That kind of claim has never been done before by the People's Republic of China. This is their new narrative right now.
Ang dating narrative po nila ay simply limited to the surface features in the West Philippine Sea po, no? But
Yes,
never have they claimed Palawan as having their ownership.
Yes, sir.
At kung nakita po ninyo yung comment, kasama rin po yung isang comment doon, kasama na rin daw yung Luzon Island na inhabited daw ng China at pagmamay-ari po nila. Is that the first time for you to hear this claim also?
Yes, sir.
Ano po ba ang, well, if this is the first time, then we, obviously, for us, walang claim, walang basis naman po yung claim. Upon hearing this po, I know this is now, ano po yung magiging reaction ng PCG in relation to this?
Well, the reaction, sir, of the national government is that we asked the National Historical Commission to directly debunk such historical claim of the People's Republic of China or whoever spread that fake news or misinformation. The position of the Philippine government is saying that Palawan and the entire island of Luzon has long been part of the Philippine archipelago.
So, ang usual response po natin is to fight it with information, proper information naman po.
Yes, sir.
But that does not take away the fact na this would be circulating pa rin online, sir, no?
Yes, sir.
Ang PCG po ba ay active in requesting for takedown of such information sa social media platforms? In this case, for example, TikTok.
Yes, sir. In coordination with the Philippine Information Agency, sir.
Sir, can you please give us an idea po kung ano yung proseso po ng PCG in relation to? Kasi the way that I see it, although lahat po tayo ay biktima nito, the agency most involved would be the PCG po, no? Kayo rin ang, parang ito ay attack sa inyo because this would be your area of responsibility. Ano po yung process po ninyo when trying to debunk these claims po?
Well, especially if it concerns our operation, sir, that clearly countering our factual narrative. We relay our concern to the Philippine Information Agency, the PIA, which is also under the PCO. And since PIA has established connection with Meta, that's the only time that we can wait for any response, whether it will be taken down or we have to wait for, or we have to provide for additional information to be taken down by Meta, sir.
Commodore Tariela, through the Honorable Chairman, meron po ba kayong opisina na task para ma-monitor mga online activities or information, lalo na nagmumula sa China?
Right now, sir, the Commander of the Philippine Coast Guard, Admiral Ronnie Hilgavan. Originally, sir, my designation is the spokesperson of the Coast Guard for the West Philippine Sea. My office was only Philippine Coast Guard West Philippine Sea Transparency Office. But it has already upgraded to Philippine Coast Guard West Philippine Sea Transparency Group. And that now includes monitoring of social media platforms that spread fake news and misinformation.
Sir, ito po ba ay kasama sa original mandate ng PCG? Or is this part of the evolving new frontier nga po na tinatawag nila sa conflict over the West Philippine Sea?
This is part of our evolving role right now, especially that the national government is supporting the Transparency Initiative to make the Filipino people understand and be aware of what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. And the only way that we can be more successful in creating awareness and right information to the Filipino people is also to safeguard the spread of fake news, sir, to have it prevented to proliferate in the social media platforms.
I see. Generally po kasi, Commodore, ang pagkakaintindi po namin sa PCG, no, ay napaka-physical po dapat ang ating role, no? Kayo po talaga ang defenders of the West Philippine Sea as our internal waters there. Kayo po ay nandun, kayo po ay talagang watching over yung mga transgressions, ngunit ngayon, it seems to be yung transgressions are also appearing in the cyberspace. Ano po yung epekto po nito sa ating soberenya? Kasi isa iba po, ang minsan sinasabi nila, these are just words. And this would not really affect, it should not affect us. But do you stand by that sentiment po?
You know, sir, one of the main reasons why President Bongbong Marcos, through the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, supported the Transparency Initiative, because he basically inherited a nation wherein Filipino people, right after he assumed the presidency, there's a very limited information that Filipino people learned about the West Philippine Sea. From 2016 to 2022, there are very small portions of information that we told the Filipino people. And for the President to only deliver his commitment of not surrendering a square inch of our territory to any foreign power, he has to get the support of the Filipino people. And the Filipinos will not be supporting our fight in the West Philippine Sea if they do not know what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. So with the transparency effort that we're doing now, as we can now see from different surveys, more Filipinos are being aware of what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. And that's, you know, as what Justice Carpio said, our fight in the West Philippine Sea is intergenerational. It is important for the younger generation, especially, to understand our fight in the West Philippine Sea. That's why our fight for fake news and misinformation is very important for us to sustain our fight for sovereignty.
Thank you, sir. I would agree with that po, no? As mentioned actually by Secretary Ruiz. For example, ako po, generation namin, we're not aware already of the Sabah issue. And I fear that might be what will happen, no, with the West Philippine Sea with this continued disinformation. So we're glad to know po na at least the PCG, despite your mandate being the actual physical defense of the West Philippine Sea, physical monitoring and the regulation of the area, we're glad to know po na that you're evolving. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be that case. We will try to do our best here in this committee to combat at least yung cyber aspect of the of that front. Pero in relation to that po, Commodore Tariela, through the Honorable Chairman, we really have to make all these actions to counter this map expansion tactics ng China, whether it's in the actual or the cyberspace po, no? Pero do you have any recommendations po in relation to this disinformation front of the West Philippine Sea?
Well, I think, sir, it's important for us to make the bloggers or any other social media influencers to understand the limitation of freedom of speech, especially if it has something to do with national security concern. Sometimes it's very easy for bloggers or any social media influencers to say that West Philippine Sea, we do not have bases, that the Philippines is the one escalating the tension, those kind of things. They can hide from the constitutional freedom of speech, but again, that concerns our national security. So if there's something that the Congress can do, that is to make sure that we have to prevent them from hiding from that constitutional right, and to also give so much significance when we talk about national security.
Thank you, Commander Riela. I would tend to agree with that po, no? But just in addition po siguro for the consideration of the committee, an issue lang po is at least in some instances, meron nga pong false narratives, fake news by vloggers. But in addition to that, what makes it harder in the cyberspace is some of them even hide behind anonymity po, no? So that's another aspect of the regulation, if ever, that the committee would, if the committee would recommend it, I think we also have to look into the interplay between yung actual vloggers who are expressing legitimate freedom of expression, subject of course to proper limitations in relation to fake news, and those that are probably bots po, no, or non-persons who actually should not be exercising any of these rights. But with that, Mr. Chair, just a few additional questions of PCG, because although we've already discussed earlier yung post nung sa Palawan, it is our understanding that generally, especially in TikTok, could you confirm po sa amin po, Commodore Tariela, na in some cases, it's not really censorship po, no? But there seems to be a suppression of content in relation of pro-West Philippine Sea sentiments. Is that correct po?
Well, I don't have personal experience about the suppression of content in TikTok, sir, no? But I heard from other reporters that if they're using such platform, there are instances that they can limit the audience and the engagement of that particular post if it has something to do with West Philippine Sea reporting.
I see, sir. Actually, that question is coming from the source that, I also heard of the same sentiments. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any of these media reporters here with us today as resource persons. So I wanted to ask from you po sana, because what I recall would be in those instances where there are actual, how do you call them, conflicts between the Coast Guard and also yung counterpart po natin sa China. Sometimes we've adopted that strategy of having journalists on board po, no? But what we've heard is that when they were posting to their personal social media accounts, sometimes they will block out the audio, or sometimes they would limit po its proliferation in the algorithm. And I just wanted to hear po siguro from you, Commodore Tariela, if you had any similar experience to this.
Well, for other social media platforms, we don't have any experience about suppression of the reach of the audience, sir. As I said, according to some journalists, their main concern is only TikTok, sir.
TikTok lang po talaga.
Yes, sir.
So with that, Mr. Chair, and I understand generally we want to compartmentalize the topics, but if I still have some time, siguro a few questions po kay TikTok, Mr. Chair. Tapos na po yung oras, Chair. Okay lang. A few more interjection questions po. A few questions na follow-up lang po. So, Mr. Chair, we'd like to acknowledge, we'd like to, if the Honorable Chair would acknowledge po yung representative ng TikTok.
Hi, yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning to the Honorable Committee. I just wanted to clarify that I'm here to represent TikTok and not ByteDance. And actually, Mr. Chair, if you would allow, would we be able to play the video that we had prepared for today that we were hoping to show the Honorable Committee this morning?
We will now proceed with the presentation, then afterwards, maybe you can answer some questions from Representative Gutierrez. Comsec, please play the video.
May audio po. May audio po yan. Our apologies, Mr. Chair. This video is supposed to have audio accompanying it. But if we have limited time, we're happy to take the questions of the Honorable Congressman.
No, this is what we will do. We will get back to it later. Medyo ayusin lang nila. So you can now proceed with the questions, Representative Gutierrez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, questions directed at Mr. Chair, questions?
While we...
Yes, please proceed. Comsec, ayusin nyo muna yun. Then later on, we'll go back to it. Proceed with the questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, directions, questions directed to TikTok. So, I'm sure we've heard po, Paderna, yung ating sentiments from the PCG. Would you have any comment po in relation to the so-called, first part po, yung proliferating video with the fake news that China owns Palawan? And then the second point would be on the alleged suppression of journalist postings regarding to West Philippine Sea.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, we're grateful to the Honorable Committee for having us today and giving us the opportunity to speak on behalf of TikTok. We do want to address the concerns of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Honorable Congressman here today. Actually, we do not allow misinformation that puts not just individuals at risk of harm, but we also do not allow misinformation that may cause societal harm. We have taken down posts in the past similar to these videos, citing territorial disputes, and we are happy to work with the Honorable Committee in securing links to these videos so we can endorse them to the appropriate teams within TikTok. We have already coordinated with the committee secretary to secure the links so that we can report them accordingly. Because as I said earlier, we have taken action on similar posts in the past. And we'd like to be able to get the opportunity to send this content to our teams for review.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, TikTok, for that response. So, Mr. Chair, in relation to disinformation sources or fake news, the action on TikTok is actually more on a reactionary.
Mr. Chair, we also take proactive measures, especially around misinformation that could cause severe harm. Every video that is posted on the platform undergoes a quick review by our machine technology, by our technology moderation. And that initial pass, that initial sweep of the content often studies signals for misinformation that could be harmful. Now, we also rely on our independent fact checkers who make an assessment on the accuracy of the information on the platform on certain kinds of content. And we also rely on community reports. So user reports also assist us in spotting misinformation that violate our community guidelines.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, sorry, let me just clarify po. No? While I understand that there would be these measures, for example, that you've mentioned, these community moderators, and the review upon posting, this would be actually after the fact that the video is posted, correct?
That's, Mr. Chair, incorrect, actually. Before a video is posted, if you notice, if anybody is familiar with the way that TikTok works, when you post a video, there's a processing time. That processing time is actually the period when the video undergoes technology moderation.
Okay, so there's how much uptime would that be usually? I'm not familiar with the TikTok.
I don't have precise figures around that, Mr. Chair, but rest assured that every video goes through automatic technology moderation.
So when it undergoes automatic technology moderation, when a video has been reported to be a source of fake news, generally, even if through a different user, there would be an attempt to repost the video, it should be flagged.
Yes, sir. Let me get back to you on that, Mr. Chair, actually. But one thing that we would love to share to the Honorable Committee is that between July to September, I believe, during a period last year, we removed over 4 million videos that violated our community guidelines. 99.5% of those videos were taken down proactively, and of the remaining percentage, 98% was taken down in less than 24 hours after being reported by users. So we're quite pleased to share that information with the Honorable Committee because we'd like to demonstrate that we are doing everything that we can in terms of our moderation practices to catch posts and to catch content that violate our community guidelines.
Mr. Chair, most respectfully, while we laud the attempts, the measures being taken by TikTok in relation to this, and we appreciate the numbers that are being put forward, one issue that we have really is that anecdotally that doesn't seem to be the case. For example, when we're talking about fake news in relation to China, when we see one video posted and it has been reported, we would see the same video posted by a different person. So that's why I wanted to ask how do we ensure that a video that has been flagged for disinformation is not posted again? And quite frankly, perhaps we'd have to get cold hard evidence po. We'd like to have a resource person invited in this. But it tends to be that once there is a narrative being taken by certain bad actors in relation to fake news and it's posted and they take it down, they just post it through another user. So I hope you'd understand the frustration that this committee would have in relation to the social media posts. And that's not even going into yet the issue of suppression that our journalists are facing in relation to the territorial dispute of the West Philippine Sea. So in relation to that, if we could move on, Ms. Padera, most respectfully to the Honorable Chairman, in relation to the suppression, what measures do we have? Are we aware of this suppression of postings in relation to coverage of the West Philippine Sea?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. We do not suppress any content that pertains to the West Philippine Sea. We welcome the diversity of political expression, and what we can share is that if a video is muted, there is a possibility that the content may have committed a violation of our guidelines, specifically perhaps around intellectual property. That kind of action, muting a video, is typically something that we do when there is an intellectual property violation. So we want to reassure the Honorable Committee that we do not silence voices that advocate for greater awareness on West Philippine Sea issues.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess we are forced to take that on face value po, no? But as far as anecdotally, if I recall right, the video that was suppressed, I don't think there's an intellectual property issue. That was a coverage of yung journalist po having an altercation with yung counterparts sa China. Walang music naman na nagpa-play doon. In fact, nagmumurahan pa po sila. So, Mr. Chair, I guess to advance, to progress this issue siguro, we can ask the Honorable Comsec to, if we may po, Commodore Tariela, if you could point us in the right direction kung sinong journalist po ito that were allegedly suppressed, we could probably invite them or communicate with them through the committee secretariat. Then we can probably have them coordinate with TikTok, and we'll get to the bottom of this at a latter hearing po, no? Because as it stands, it's going to be a anecdote versus general guideline. So if we're going to get into the specifics, probably at a latter time when the resource person will be available po, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and if I may, we're also happy to engage these personalities, these individuals from the press, to understand their experience. Our technology moderation is very sensitive around audio. And so even though two people might be speaking and just speaking, our moderation technology is able to pick up signals of background audio. And as I emphasized earlier, often when a video is muted, it's not because of the content. If content violates our guidelines, we take them down. If content violates intellectual property rights, quite frequently, the action that is taken is to mute the audio. So we want to reassure the Honorable Committee of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I guess we'll have to leave that to the discussion at a later time when we have the resource persons available. So, Mr. Chair, I understand my time is up. I had more questions for TikTok, but I'll probably reserve it for the second round. With that, Mr. Chair, I yield the floor. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Secretary Ruiz has a previous engagement, so this committee has decided that he will be excused. Anyway, Jose Castro will be here to attend. Thank you for your presence, Secretary Ruiz.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Before we continue, may I acknowledge the presence online, Representative Jonathan Flores, Representative Ambrosio Cruz, and we have some social media personalities who arrived also, or present rather. Mr. Ramon Gerardo San Luis, are you here? Mr. Manuel Mata Jr. Do we have now the presentation, Comsec? Okay na ba? Hindi pa. Okay, please proceed with the presentation.
At TikTok, we encourage our users to express themselves authentically and creatively in a safe and positive environment. We have a dedicated global trust and safety team that works alongside innovative technology to keep our platform safe and welcoming. From July to October 2024, we removed 4.5 million videos. 99.7% were proactively removed, and 98% were removed within 24 hours. While we welcome the respectful expression of different viewpoints, we do not allow misinformation that may cause significant harm to individuals or society, regardless of intent. We rely on independent fact-checking partners to help assess the accuracy of content. In the Philippines, we partner with Agence France Presse. While we are a global company, we partner with local stakeholders to understand cultural norms and local contexts. For the 2025 Philippine midterm elections, we partnered with COMELEC, NAMFEL, and Lente to launch the Philippine Election Center, which provides Filipinos with verified election-related information. We regularly meet with civil society organizations, safety experts, and members of the academe to help inform our approach to keep our community safe. We also host media, members of the academe, and government officials at our Transparency and Accountability Center in Singapore. Meanwhile, we launched our Think Twice digital literacy campaign last February to encourage users to think twice before posting and sharing. Our Think Twice videos have already garnered millions of views across all social platforms. We empower our users to take control of their experience on TikTok, including using our comment care and reporting tools. Keeping TikTok safe is a collaborative effort, and we remain committed to working with the government, civil society organizations, members of the academe, and local experts to continue to keep our platform safe.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you have any further statement? TikTok?
None for now, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much.
We'll proceed with the next interpolator. May I recognize Representative Jude Asedre? You have the floor.
Mr. Chair, before I proceed to my interpellation, may I be allowed to make a brief manifestation? Good morning, dear colleagues, Mr. Chair. Today we gather to confront the troubling and complex reality of our times, the spread of fake news on social media, and the powerful role that repetition plays in shaping what people believe. It has been said that repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth, a phrase widely attributed to Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany. While those words come from a dark chapter in history, they reveal something deeply psychological and disturbingly relevant today. Modern psychologists would call it the illusion of truth effect. When people hear something over and over again, whether it's true or not, they begin to believe it. Repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity often masquerades as truth. In today's digital world, this effect is supercharged. Social media platforms, algorithms, and virality amplify repetition at unprecedented speeds. And at the heart of this ecosystem are individuals, influencers, who shape the opinion, values, and even the beliefs of millions. That influence carries weight, and with that weight comes responsibility. I believe, Mr. Chair, this hearing is not about silencing voices. It is about understanding how truth and lies compete in our public discourse and what role social media influencers play in tipping the balance. If truth is repeated more often than lies, even by a margin, say 51 to 49%, then truth can prevail. But if lies dominate the feed, even well-intentioned citizens may find themselves misled, manipulated, and misinformed. So today, we have the opportunity to ask tough questions. We seek accountability, and more than that, we call for a shared commitment to making truth more visible, more frequent, and more powerful than the lie. Mr. Chair, let me begin.
I have a new Facebook account because on Feb 7,
my Facebook was deactivated, so I created a new Facebook account just probably a week ago or less than a week ago.
Maliban sa Facebook, ano pong mga social media platforms pa ang iyong ginagamit?
I use TikTok but sparingly, that's it.
Tinuturing niyo ba na trabaho in addition to your professional affiliations itong pag-post nyo o paggamit nyo ng social media?
Personally, no, because I don't earn. My accounts are not monetized. But because I'm the social media head of Manila Bulletin, I have to be on top of what's happening on social media.
So you consider, again for the record, na your social media activities in a way complement your professional affiliation with Manila Bulletin?
I would say so because if you're a journalist, if you're a writer, if you're an editor, you listen to what people are saying on social media because that's how you get the pulse of the people.
Okay, thank you. Kailan ka nagsimula sa social media, if you still remember?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. Probably as soon as Facebook was created, I think maybe a year or two after I had an account. I don't remember exactly when.
So how do you decide on choosing your topics for your content?
My personal content?
Yes, for your personal account.
I don't decide. Facebook has a what's on your mind field, and what's on my mind in that moment is what I write about.
So you would say that all this are simply random, spontaneous thoughts that you have over?
Yes.
So, do you consider yourself, tinuturing mo ba sarili mo na influencer in addition to your professional role as a journalist?
I do not know. I'm not a self-identified influencer. I cannot say that I am an influencer, even if I do have a modest following that's below 500,000, because I don't do lives, I don't do YouTube, I have never gone. I only write on Facebook, that's it. I only write on Facebook. I don't do YouTube, I don't do lives, I don't do podcasts, so.
But you are aware that with your your modest following on Facebook, as you refer to it, gives you a considerable audience to your postings. Are you aware of that?
Not more than the others. Yes, I do have a modest following, but not more than the others. I'm not in the level of Thinking Pinoy, Sasrogando Sasot, Maharlika. I could still go around. I could still go around not recognized by people. So no, I'm not an influencer because people don't know me, but I have a voice. Let's put it at that. I have a voice.
But then again, I'll bring back the question. Are you aware of the volume, the size of the audience that are listening, are reading your posts?
Yes, because the measure is the likes, the number of likes. So sometimes, I believe, syempre, I don't have proof of that, but in my previous Facebook, I believe that I was shadow banned. So my likes in my 480,000 Facebook was around 5,000, maximum 10,000. Now, this is a new account, and I don't think I've been shadow banned yet. I can reach as many as 50,000, even 100,000. So this is the new account.
50,000 for a single post?
Yes, for this new account.
Okay. Mr. Chair, just want to put on the record that to put everything in context, that the resource person on many occasions, several instances in their previous account, and I'm not so sure because I haven't seen the current accounts, have actually written about this representation, has made post against this representation, but I will take the advice of the good Congressman Marcoleta that we politicians, public servants should not be onion skin, and I will make sure that I'll be as objective as possible with my questions.
Can I reply to that, Mr. Chair?
No, I will continue with my questions, Mr. Chair. Mrs. Crescent, ano po ang klase ng content ng inyong pinopost?
Political, personal, lifestyle.
And many of these
basically what my life is in the public. Anything, food, films, political is a big part because I am politically inclined. I like talking about politics, but it's not the end-all and be-all of my account.
How many percent would you consider those would carry political? How many percent of your posts would you consider would carry political themes?
In my old account, probably 70, 80%. I'm not sure. I don't measure it's spontaneous. I don't set out to I don't have a quota.
And you attribute this simply because you are
Because I'm very
politically
politically
inclined?
aware and I'm very politically passionate, sir.
Sa mga content mo, may naalala ka bang pinakamaraming engagements, views, likes, or whatever impressions? Yung pinaka nag-trending na post mo? Top of mind.
Sa old account, ang pinaka nag-trending na post was the death of Stan Lee. It's not a political post, the death of Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel. Sa new account, my sadness over PRRD spending his birthday alone in his cell in The Hague.
Yung sa mga political post mo in the previous account, ano po yung pinaka nag-trending?
I don't remember exactly, but it's always about the former president.
So sa tingin mo, bakit nag-trending ang isang post ni Cresetchu?
I don't know. Maybe because it resonates with people. Because I have never boosted a post. I have never bought likes, or I have never paid to get liked or followed. So I cannot speak for my audience or readers, but it's probably common sense that it resonates with them, that there are a lot of people who love President Duterte.
May mga contents na sinasabi na non-political o may mga post ka naman na masasabi mong hindi nag-viral, ano?
Actually, I don't know what the parameters are for what is considered viral. I don't know.
Or let's say, anong klase ng content naman in your experience ang hindi nagkaroon ng maraming engagement? May naalala ka ba na...
It does not, I do not look at how many likes I get. And whether or not they go viral is not very important to me. I write what I write, whether I have 1 reader or 1,000 readers.
But when you post something, do you also engage with your those who make comments?
When I have time,
and when you do that, have you considered ano yung mga dominant demographic ng yung audience na usually mo na napapansin? Are these like-minded people? Are these... Mr. Chair.
Hello? Okay.
Okay na?
Okay. So, I assume that as with any page, you attract like-minded people. So the reason they're on my page is that they read me because they think I think like them. So even with, and it's not just political, even if you have pages for hobbies or entertainment, the people who go to your page are the people who like reading that sort of thing.
And you think this is the reason also why people follow, they like, they comment your posts because they agree with your posts?
Probably, yes, I think so.
And you think...
But just to clarify, I also have people who go to my posts just to oppose what I say. So it's not as if it's an echo chamber. It's not. Because there are people who go to my page and there are people who are trolls, and when you look at their accounts, those are new accounts, locked profiles, and they say the same thing. So it's not there's no echo chamber in today's social media because there are trolls on pages and there are people who oppose what you say.
It's good that you pointed that out, but let me ask, do you think in your engagement with those who are posting, with your post, no, you think that the content of your post actually influence the minds of other social media users? Have you ever found yourself quoted, reposted, shared in other social
Yes.
media accounts?
Yes, they are, but I always maintain that they would not be reading my page if they were not already feeling or thinking what I'm feeling. And a lot of the feedback that I get is that people saying, you articulate what I am feeling, except that I do not have the words or the talent to say that. So I think majority of my readers are those people who want to say, want to express their frustrations or express their hopes, and are not just, I do not have my writing skills.
It's good that you mentioned about feedback. So, have you ever received feedback that people are actually saying, it's good that you exposed this, that you wrote about this, because I'm learning, I get to know what's happening, I get to understand the issue more?
Yes, but that's not specific to social media. I am an editor, and if I write articles for the newspaper, it's always all the articles that you write, whether they're for social media or for traditional media, you're writing it to expose, inform, entertain, empower.
But let me go back to the social media. Let me limit to the social media posts. Have you ever received feedback saying that they have learned, they're thankful that they have exposed, they have learned something, they've been influenced by the information that you posted in your social media account?
Sir, I do not think that I am at the level of investigative journalist who have exposed something. I just say what unfortunately, I'm not the kind of journalist who can do exposés. So unless it's something of my personal knowledge, I don't think that somebody has thanked me for exposing something.
So are you sure that in your social media posts, whether in your previous posts or not, you have not exposed any public official or agency of the government whatsoever? Remember, you're under oath.
Not that I remember, and I know that I'm under oath. I don't remember anything exposing a public. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in my job for Manila Bulletin, not on my page. So I am more protected by my office.
I will go back to the question. Ibig sabihin ba sa social media posts mo, wala kang sinabi na nag-i-expose ka sa sino mang opisyal o ehensya ng gobyerno tungkol sa in the conduct of their official duties?
I don't remember any exposés I have done.
Mr. Chair, is it possible that the committee subpoena Meta for a copy? I understand that Meta keeps a digital copy of all the postings over a considerable time. I move that we subpoena the social media posts of Mrs. Crisette Chu.
There's a motion. Any second?
Second.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know you're a professional journalist, Crisette, and I know you're well trained and you studied abroad, and you have a good appreciation of what it takes to be a journalist. By referencing from that, would you describe the extent of your influence? How would you describe the extent of your influence online, and what responsibility do you think comes with that influence?
I am I'm not comfy with the idea that I am responsible for something because I just write. As I said, I'm very careful before all these things. Before, sir, Mr. Chair, before I was included in the top 40 vloggers, fake news, Pogo funded, I have never spoken my politics. Not on YouTube, not on Facebook. I just write. So I don't have the I don't feel like I am an important political commentator. I write what I feel, but I'm not one of those people na people will think about because I have discussed it. I have engaged with other people. I write what I say. I write what I think, and that's it. Sometimes I answer the comments on my page, but that's the limit of my political conversation. So if you're going to ask me what I think my influence is, then I cannot answer it. Maybe it's better to ask other people if they're affected by what I write and if they feel like I influence them.
Earlier you mentioned you have a following right now of how many?
About 250.
250,000?
Mm-hmm.
And in your previous account, how many?
480,000.
And then in your average impressions for every post is around 10,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's the number you said earlier.
In my new page, in my old page, about 5,000 to...
In your new page?
About 10,000.
10,000
in
per
my new
post.
page.
Don't you feel any responsibility to speak the truth and what's factual?
Yes, I speak my truth. I'm under oath.
What
yes,
I'm
I
saying
speak
is,
my truth.
Don't you think having such a number of following with that influence, let me call that influence, that a certain degree of responsibility comes with it?
Of course, there's a responsibility. That's why I use my training in journalism to make sure that nobody can ever call me out and say it's fake news. I can make mistakes, and I can make mistakes, but they're not glaring mistakes. And they're still going to be, I'm still going to have the same opinion from that same
Mrs.
mistake.
Crisette, you stand by saying that you are faithful to your journalistic training in the course of determining or choosing the content, the tenor, and the language of your post. Yes or no?
Sorry, can you please repeat that?
Do you stand by your statement saying that you make sure that you're faithful to your journalistic training?
Yes, sir. I make sure that
in terms
as
of,
far as
let me continue first. In terms of the content, the language, the demeanor with which you post, you make your postings.
As far as I can, as far as I'm knowledgeable, I post what I feel. Maybe at the moment, maybe when I'm very angry, I post some things that are more inflammatory than when I'm more calm. But basically, those are my feelings. So, sir, there will be times that I will be more angry towards one politician over another time. I'm still going to be angry at them.
Let me ask a question. So, you mean when you speak something inflammatory on you post something inflammatory on your Facebook account, you don't mind whether people will be influenced by those inflammatory statements or not?
Those are my opinions, and I believe I have very intelligent readers, so if they think that I am lying, they can call me out. If they agree with me because they've used their own eyes, then they can investigate for themselves. Those are my opinions. Those are what I feel. If I say I don't like this person, I stand by it.
So you don't really mind if people, as a journalist, don't you feel that there's a need for
I do not use my Facebook page. I do not identify myself
there. But earlier you mentioned that you make sure that you apply your journalistic training.
Meaning, I make sure I don't lie. Meaning, I make sure that I do not, even if I am inflammatory, even if I'm angry, it's still not a lie. I'm just more angry in one post than I am in another post. My degree of feeling changes per post, but the content will not change. If I'm angry at one person, it can be because I'm angry at one person, and the next post I'm still angry at them, but not as much. But the reason that I'm angry at them is the same.
Okay.
Before we proceed, may I remind the resource persons, when you answer, please address the chair first.
Sir, sorry. Okay, sir, Mr. Chair.
Let the interpolator finish the question before you answer. Just a reminder.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
In your training for journalism, no, you majored in journalism, right?
Communication arts
Yes.
and publishing, sir.
Are you aware of the psychological phenomenon called illusion of truth effect?
I'm not sure we discussed it, sir.
So
Mr. Chair.
it means that when a repeated information is repeated again and again, it's likely to be perceived as true regardless of the factual accuracy.
Okay, sir.
For the record, let me ask, have you ever unknowingly or knowingly repeated content that turned out to be false or misleading? Have you ever? In the course of your posting, have you ever repeated
Knowingly,
content?
no. Unknowingly, I am not sure.
Mr. Chair, I ask it because I would like to draw your attention to this post dated March 13 under her new account, Chrisette Chu. May I ask the Secretariat to flash it on the screen, where the resource person posted, and I'll read the first paragraph. May mga pulis at military daw na nagre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government daw. Chrisette, Mrs. Chrisette, would you confirm that this account is yours?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Chairman, that's not fake news because there were TikTok. And kindly, sir,
Mr. Chair,
finish the post, sir, to read. Finish the... Kasi nakakahiya. Nahihiya ako, sir.
Ms. Chrisette, as I've said, please let the representative finish the question first before you answer. Let us observe proper decorum.
So this is your Facebook account?
Yes, sir.
Did you post this?
Yes, sir. I post the
in
entire
this first page, first paragraph, you stand by your statement that you said na maraming, let me read it verbatim, na may mga pulis na military daw na magre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government daw. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. And then kindly
Saan
read...
mo nakuha yung impormasyon na to?
Sir, if you go on TikTok, there are policemen.
How many policemen?
Sir, I'm not counting, but there are many policemen.
you
And
said
that's a
marami.
general impression,
But
sir.
you said marami. So,
Yes, sir.
so you just
Marami,
post
sir.
it on the basis of a single,
Yes, sir.
2 or 3 posts?
Yes, sir. I will not count all that, but there's a general impression, sir. And sir, if
Have
you read all
ever,
my content...
Let me ask the question and I'll give you the chance to answer. Have you ever made an effort to verify this post from official sources?
Yes, sir, because there were already policemen, and I am sure our policemen can also say that there were policemen that are on TikTok that are voicing out their, if they have like, feelings. So, if you could kindly, sir, read the rest. So, kasi nahihiya po ako kasi may mga police dito.
No, I just want to stand by. Your opinion, the next succeeding paragraphs are your the opinion of the resource person. I just want to stick to the factual statements you made. And that's basically saying that maraming police at military daw ang magre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government. And apparently, the resource person, Mr. Chair, has gotten this information from other social media posts. And on a critical matter such as this, Mr. Chair, she did not make any effort, or unless you're contesting it, any effort to verify it from official sources.
Mr. Chair, number one, I made sure to put the word "thou" because no policeman has ever come out to me. Well, before, but it was in my old when they would talk about their discontent.
Earlier you said you don't want to write a lie.
Yeah, and that's not a lie, sir. That's not a lie, sir.
The resource person, naniniwala ka ba sa katotohanan? As a journalist?
Of course.
Ang pagsasabi ba ng hindi totoo, hindi pagsasabi ng katotohanan, tama, di ba?
Mr. Chair, those are the impressions, not only of me.
I'm asking you, because I want to test if we have the same idea of what truthful is.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ang hindi pagsasabi ng totoo ay hindi pagsasabi ng katotohanan, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I
Ang hindi pagsasabi ng
maintain...
totoo ay kasinungalingan. Tama?
Yes, sir, and I maintain I'm speaking the
pagsasabi
truth.
ng half-truth ay pagsasabi din ng kasinungalingan.
I am maintaining that I am speaking the truth of the impressions made on social media.
Okay.
Thank you, sir,
I don't
Mr.
want to
Chair.
argue with her position, Mr. Chair, but I just want to bring the attention of the committee to a news article showing the official position of the PNP. Can we flash that on? Can we flash that on the screen?
Comsec, please flash the content.
Okay, this is a press release. I think this is a news article from, if I'm not mistaken, from the Philippine Star, saying basically, according to the spokesperson of the PNP, hindi daw totoo ang nasasabing mass resignation ng mga miyembro ng PNP. Tiyak po ang pagkakasabi na walang isang miyembro ng PNP ang nagbitiw mula sa kanilang posisyon pagkatapos ng pagka-aresto ni President Duterte. Pinabulaanan nga po niya ang ilang partikular na mga post at larawan na kumakalat sa social media tungkol dito. So have you read this article after your post?
Mr. Chair, no, I have not read that article. And Mr. Chair, this article exactly affirms what I said earlier, that the mass impression of laymen like us, civilians like us, that there were mass resignations. The fact that the PNP...
But Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, you just said, yet you do not share lies on your post,
sir,
diba?
Sir, I shared, Mr. Chair, that's what I said, kaya ako nag-include ng daw, these were impressions. The fact, sir, that our PNP had to write a press release means kami na wala kaming statistics, these were the impressions that were coming to us.
So you're saying that this is something
sir,
that
can I
you
also
just...
finish?
Okay.
Why it's not fair here?
Okay, Mr. Chair, does it mean that you have simply written this post out of your personal impressions or the impressions of you believe are posted in other social media without even making sure whether there is enough basis or have made any effort to verify your statements?
Mr. Chair, if I am not an insider in the PNP and they had to release that information, it means that they are correcting the general impression of masses like us. The fact that they had to write it means that there's a general impression, and to our policeman here, I would like to
and when you make
address
those,
you that,
Mr. Chair, when you make those impressions, you don't have any regard whether, now you find yourself apologizing to the policeman
no,
here.
sir, the
So
reason
you
I am
didn't make any
apologizing
effort.
is because my post was
Mr.
not
Chair.
about... Mr. Chair, can I
Point of
just
order.
please give me time to explain? Because it's been talked,
Ms.
sir,
Crescent,
kindly...
in accordance with our rules, as I've said earlier, this will be the third time that I'm telling all the resource persons, let the interpellator finish the question first. And in fact, if I impose the rule strictly, the resource persons can only speak until I recognize you.
Thank you, sir.
Kung pwede lang patapusin nyo yung tanong bago kayo sumakot para hindi tayo magkakagulo rito.
Babalikan ko yung tanong ko. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Garcet, sa dami ng followers ninyo, in putting out information or posting items such as what has been presented before this committee, are you saying categorically that you do not feel any responsibility for the weight and for the consequences of your posts?
Can I answer now?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I am saying that I am merely writing about what I see as the pulse of the masses, which is that they were afraid that there were policemen. That's why also I am very careful that I said thou. And to our honorable policeman, I am not apologizing because I wrote that. I'm apologizing because you don't know the context of what I wrote. And what I wrote was, please don't resign. Because if you really want to make a difference in our country, you can best do it from the inside. It was not a condemnation of people who were resigning, but a reminder that if you're given a rare opportunity to change something that you do not like, do
I
it
think, Mr.
from
Chair,
the inside.
I think, Mr. Chair, the resource person is not answering the question because we want to focus solely on those first two statements, which I think carries a significant weight. Yung pagsasabi na maraming pulis ang nag-resign at nagbibitiw. Whether it's thou or what, we're presenting a scenario that could be harmful even to national security. And in fact, if you ask me, personally, there should have been legal consequences for this. I don't know. We have a representative from PNP, so we can hear from it. Mr. Chair, do we have somebody from...
Yes, General Torre, can you please answer?
Mr. Chair, General Torre, have there been any incident of massive resignations following the arrest of the former president?
If the qualification for the word massive, sir, is more than the normal, then there's none, sir. But there are regular resignations, but it's not connected to this issue, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Chair, is kung hindi ang isang social media influencer or somebody who uses social media doesn't feel responsible for one's postings, no? At even doesn't consider that whatever effect it may have on the minds of many others na nagbabasa o nakakabasa dun sa mga post niya, I think, Mr. Chair, we're treading in dangerous ground here. Kasi clearly, an audience of 10,000 per post is no small following. And I think, whatever the circumstances are, it's incumbent upon those who use social media to take responsibility for their postings, especially when such matter actually affect national security and affect our society as a whole. And I think in this case, this is something that we should carefully consider, especially that the resource person, Mr. Chair, in many of her posts, have actually made accusations, criticism, or exposés about public officials, about public offices and agencies. And I think we have to draw the line whether the canons of journalism, especially that Mrs. Crisette Chu is a journalist by profession, that there should be a clear demarcation between personal posts, especially what should determine, I think, Mr. Chair, should be the content of the post rather than who the one writing is. And especially in the case of Mrs. Crisette Chu, her being a journalist, make sure that a serious journalist, as she mentioned, will not publish rumors, because basically the way she explains it is that she has made this post on the basis of social media rumors. The ones who publish social rumors are actually those who are showbiz reporters. So the article on the resignation, and you can see on the following post, there has been no effort, Mr. Chair, to actually verify. May I ask the resource person again, Mr. Chair, after learning, have there been any efforts on your on your part to rectify or to correct the impression that you said you've articulated in your social media post?
Mr. Chair, can I answer this, sir? He's belaboring the point that this is news. It was not news. The reason I said daw was that it was not news, but for me, that if this was true, and you could read it in my post, if totoo ito, please don't do it. I did not say, you can make a difference, you can make a distinction if you were trained in journalism between establishing something and saying, if this is true, please don't do it, and announcement, many policemen have resigned. That's the difference. I wanted to predicate what I wrote with something that was daw because it was a reminder to our policemen that please do not leave us, please think it through, that you can do more inside. So, sir, for me, it was more an opinion piece based on the general impression of when I wrote it, sir.
So now it's an opinion piece, Mr. Chair. That's
All my
how she's
articles
referring
on
you.
Facebook are opinion pieces po,
So,
sir,
Mr. Chair, this would be my last point. Would you agree, Mrs. Crescent, if you would, I would be so direct that what you've written on your post is simply somebody's ranting, sensationalizing a rumor heard on social media without no effort to verify, with simply the effort to create some questions or to insinuate a situation that would actually affect national security. Because that's how you explained it. You simply sensationalized a rumor you heard online without considering, without even taking the effort to verify, and without considering the possible effects on national security on a matter that is very sensitive given the political situation of the country right now. And you feel no responsibility whatsoever to the 10,000 impressions or readers that who may be influenced by the opinions that you raised. You really don't care about what people will do or say or take after reading your post. Is that correct, Mrs. Crescent?
Mr. Chair, I will reply now. Okay, sir, I do not feel any responsibility because my conscience is clear. It was not phrased as news. It was something...
I agree na, Mr. Chair.
Sir.
I agree na. I'm not saying, I agree with what you're saying. It's not news. But you simply sensationalized on social media a rumor that you've heard or read or whatsoever without any effort to verify it as a responsible social media user, and without consideration that given your following, the people who read and actually listen to you on a matter that's sensitive to national security.
Mr.
Wala
Chair,
kang pakialam kung anong gagawin at iisipin ng mga tao, basta sinulat ni Crescent Chu, naniniwala yung mga tao, bahala maniwala sila hindi. Wala kang pakialam doon.
Mr. Chair, may I already reply? The fact that the PNP felt there was a need to issue a clarification meant it was not me who thought about it, that it was the general sentiment of a lot of people because there were a lot of posts going around. I never claimed to have first-hand information about this. That's why it was very important to me to say
But neither did you, Mr. Chair, neither did you say also in the same post that I do not have a first-hand information about this. Diba?
Yes,
Wala ka
Mr.
naman
Chair,
sinabi.
that was why I said daw, and it was not phrased as a news.
3 words
but
does not.
but for me as a reminder to our policemen, sir.
Okay. Granted, arguendo that that's the case, no? Now that the PNP has actually explained, and you even hear General Torres say, Mr. Chair, Mrs. Crescent, that it's not true. Are you willing to apologize for anybody who may have thought wrongfully You should say you claim is not your attention. Are you willing to apologize to those who may have thought or have taken your statement as truthful and factual?
Sir, I will not apologize only because if you read the entire post, it was to support the PNP and it was a good post. It was not news. So, sir, I'm sorry if you think if
Mr. Chair, I'm saying, yaminado naman ho ng resource person na nakuha lang niya yung chismis sa social media. 'Di ba? Tapos ginawa niya ng buong kwento na yung mga police, this and that. That I would leave it to you because that's your opinion, calling on the police for whatever. But I'm asking you now the police itself, the police organization, officially, and General Torre has now confirmed that, saying that there has been no mass resignation. Are you willing to rectify? Because many would have read your statement and read it without the doubts. Maybe some people actually, we have more than 30 clippings of your post, and people in their comments actually take in your statements as truthful. Now you're presented with an example that your statement has been debunked officially by the police and General Torre, who's here with us. Are you still not willing to correct yourself officially?
Sir, Mr. Chairman, in my training for journalism, the DAO is very important, sir.
Mr. Chair,
And
the
also,
problem
sir,
with our resource
to our
person
police,
is
sir,
she claims to be a journalist whenever it's convenient and a private person whenever it's convenient. And if you go back to my manifestation earlier, Mr. Chair, that's actually the problem that we have today. You have people who are able to amplify issues without being bound by the canons of journalism. Diba? Subukan kaya ng komentaristang sabihin yan on air, on radio, kung hindi yan matanggal yung license niya sa KBP. And our social media influence, well, not everyone, but those who are able to peddle on sensationalized news or rumors on the basis of mere rumors, no? And I'm not bound by any accountability. Don't even, as the resource person has said, Mr. Chair, doesn't even feel responsible for the consequences of her statements. And I think we're treading on dangerous grounds here. Because, as I said earlier, something that you repeat over and over again, for someone who has a following of 10,000 per impressions per post, 100,000, following 500,000 in her previous account and 200,000 in this current account, that's something that should be considered. Where do we draw the line between one statement and the accountability that he or she must bear for her readers? If this was a matter, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to wind up now, that affects my person, I wouldn't really mind, because I think being criticized openly comes with the job that we have. It comes with being elected to public office. But when it is a matter of national security, when it is a time when the country should be protected rather than weakened by all this misinformation and disinformation, I think we need to draw the line. I think that's all for my question, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, respectfully po, this is what I would like to say, is why a lot of people are afraid to speak out and are afraid of this
Mr. Chair,
kasi yun po yung sinasabing prior restraint na parang natatakot kami to speak out. Because, sir, people are watching us. The Filipinos are watching us. And
Mr.
I know
Chair,
they're not stupid, sir. They know what
Mr. Chair,
they mean by DAO, what we say by
Ms.
DAO.
Crescent, why? Do you feel threatened now?
Yes, sir.
Are we...
Yes, sir, because, sir, may I... yes, sir,
I think
feel
there are
threatened
many
now,
people
sir.
here. I don't think we are harassing you.
Sir, not you, sir. Mr. Asidre, sir. Because, sir, may I just share that we have a history because we are both from Leyte.
Anyway,
Yes, sir, and I have been a
Mr. Chair,
vocal critic, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I
Mr.
may.
Shet, I think Representative Asidre has already finished his
Thank you, sir.
interpolation.
Sorry,
so
sir.
maybe
Mr. Chair, I already said in my opening statement that whatever she posted many things about me, but I would not discuss that. But I think because I think criticisms like that, however unfair it is, comes with the territory of public service. But for someone to comment on national security, for an issue that affects our country, I think that's when you draw the line. I don't think this is about silencing anyone. I don't think this is harassment, because why would you feel harassed when you believe that you've been saying the truth? Because no amount of harassment can ever drown the truth. But if you've been using such power and influence to sensationalize, to influence, to manipulate adversely, without taking even responsibility for what you said or wrote, I think that's not silencing someone. That's just putting it right where personal responsibility should be upheld. And that's it, Mr. Chair.
before we continue, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of our senior deputy speaker, Aurelio Dong Gonzalez Jr. And online, we have Honorable Marie Escudero, Honorable Mitch Cayon, and Honorable Dan Fernandez. The chair now recognizes Representative Benny Abante for his interpellation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to follow up the questions of Congressman Asidre to Ms. Crisette Laureta Chu. Ms. Crisette, will you be able to answer my question?
Congressman, Mr. Chair, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know if Ms. Crisette actually wrote something about me. No, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember her saying things against me. Have you ever made a statement against me, Ms. Crisette, at one time?
I'm not sure, sir, but I'm sure I've been hurt by some of the things that the Quadcom during the time of...
Mr. Chair, so you have been hurt.
Yes,
why
sir.
are you hurt?
Because, sir,
are you the ones being investigated? Why are you hurt?
no, sir, because I'm a supporter, and I just want to be honest, sir.
Mr. Chair, what I'm saying is this. You are not being investigated. I'd like to ask a question. Why are you hurt?
Sir, Mr. Chair, I will just answer honestly. For example, if you are a supporter of a certain politician, as I'm sure your supporters in your district in Manila know, if somebody you love or support is attacked or investigated, it hurts you. But, sir, I'm just being honest because I don't remember that I said anything about you. I'm just saying that I'm sure that maybe there were. I'm not sure, sir. I'm sorry. I don't think I've said anything bad
Mr.
about
Chair,
you.
I will not belabor anymore on what she said about me, no? But I just would like to reiterate what Congressman Jude has been saying all along. You said, you're a journalist, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not a journalist.
Yes, sir.
And you said a while ago that you write what you feel. Am I right?
On my Facebook, sir, not on my job.
Yeah, you said you write what you feel. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I do not need to be a journalist to write what I feel. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So why do you always say you're a journalist?
Because they ask me, sir, what I do.
You were not asked about being a journalist. You said it, that you are a journalist. Now,
Sir,
being a journalist, Mr. Chair, binanggit mo yung daw. Is that what you feel? Or are you trying to say now that that is what the masses feel?
Mr. Chairman, that's what the impression I got from the social media platforms.
The
like TikTok.
impression
Yes, sir.
that you got.
We call it social media impression, sir.
Well, I'm quite ignorant with the social media impression, Mr. Chair. But what I'm saying is this. You said that you write what you feel. Now, when you said daw, na maraming nag-resign na mga pulis, daw, all right? You were not writing what you feel. You were actually writing what you think the masses feel. Am I right?
Sir, in the first part of the sentence, yes, sir. And then the second part of the post where I had my own opinion, it was what I felt, sir.
So you believe that what you were writing, what you believe to be what the masses feel?
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
All right. So you're not writing what you feel, actually.
Yes, sir, as well, sir.
Therefore, you were wrong in your first statement.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Good. Very good. I'm so glad that you admitted that. All right. Now here it's...
In light of the new information, sir, in light of the press release,
I do not need you
sir.
to explain. I don't need you to explain, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You admitted you're wrong, and that's it.
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. Now, I'd like to ask General Torre here. You answered a moment ago, General Torre, that when you speak of a mass resignation, there's none. There's none. Will you please explain further so that Ms. Crisette Chu will be able to understand that is not what the masses feel?
Well, there's really nobody on record who filed their resignation, sir, just because of the Duterte arrest, sir. There's none on record right now, sir.
Do you believe that, Ms. Crisette? Do you believe the statement of General Torre?
Yes, sir, because he has the insider information. I believe him, sir.
Would you now please write something about that? Even if you do not apologize, would you now please write
Yes,
something
sir,
about
if you
that,
wish,
that you
sir.
believe, now, just a moment, that you believe that the statement of General Torre, would you please write that?
Yes, sir. I will write, sir, that according to the PNP, there were no mass resignations due to the Duterte arrest.
Thank you,
sir.
And therefore, you were wrong. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for admitting that again. All right, now, I would like to understand what you wrote also here, December 28, 2024. I have the copy here, and the picture, I was actually asking my colleagues here, who is this lady in that picture, and I was told that this is the daughter of the former president. Now you said, yung anak ka ng presidente, kapatid ka ng VP, mayor at congressman, pero kailangan mo magbenta ng deodorant sa TikTok with matching actual application of deodorant sa kilikili mo because sayang ang pera para may pambili ka ng luho. Samantalang ang anak ng mga congressman lang na kung sino-sino nag-aaral abroad sa Europe at Switzerland at walang alam sa buhay, akala hardworking lang ang kanilang mga magulang. I would like to understand this. I would like to understand what you feel about this. Now you tell us right here in this committee, anong ibig sabihin itong impression na ito?
Mr. Chair, respectfully, I would like to say that there are many congressmen whose children live lives that are far beyond what their salin of their parents have.
Well, Mr. Chair, to inform Ms. Crisette that I have 3 children, and they never went to Switzerland to study.
Yes, sir. Not
Okay.
you. It's not you, sir.
All right, not me.
Yes,
so
sir, not
therefore,
you.
who are you referring to?
Sir, I would not...
You give us names. Who are you referring to? You made a statement that there are a lot of congressmen. Therefore, you tell us now, who are you referring to?
Sir, Mr. Chair, respectfully, my counsel does not want me to mention.
Your counsel is wrong. You made a statement, samantalang ang anak ng mga congressman. You made that statement, maraming congressman. So I'm asking you right now, sino-sinong congressman yun na may mga anak na nag-aral sa Europe at Switzerland na walang alam sa buhay? Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Yun ang impression mo, di ba? Alright, you tell us now. Because that is not only an impression, Mr. Chair. She is telling us something that she believed to be true.
Your Honor, as counsel for resource person
Mr. Chair, does the council have the right to speak in this committee?
The council should wait for the chair to recognize you. Representative Banti first.
Right, I'd like to find out. Because look, nung sinabi mo, ang mga anak ng congressman lang na kung sino-sino nag-aaral abroad sa Europe at Switzerland at walang alam sa buhay. That is not only writing what you feel. It is writing what you know. That's your conclusion. Therefore, I would like to find out, sino ang tinutukoy mong congressman dito? Ipangalan mo na. Oh, palagay ko walang congressman. Matatakot dito. Meron bang mali, Mr. Chair? Is there anything wrong with any congressman who can afford to let his children study in Europe and Switzerland? Is there anything wrong with that, Mr. Chair? Let me ask you, yes or no, is there anything wrong with that?
Ms. Crisette, kindly answer the question.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair, may I be allowed
Would you allow the council?
I will allow counsel to speak first after she answers. After she answers.
Okay,
Your
Ms. Crisette,
Honor,
please answer the question.
Your Honor, to facilitate the expectation of the Honorable Congressman, may I be allowed to give 1 minute just to confer with my client, Your Honor?
Attorney Bello, tapusin muna natin yung question to Crisette. Pag na answer niya na satisfactorily, then we can proceed with your manifestation. Ms. Crisette, please answer the question.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
Chair.
my request is
Ms.
that
Mr. Chair, Sec.
Your
Bello,
Honor.
wait until you are recognized. Crisette
Wait.
Chu is being recognized as of now. We have rules to follow in this. Ms. Crisette, kindly answer the question.
Sir,
Your Honor, just reconsideration, Your Honor. My request, Your Honor, is that before my client will answer, may I be allowed 1 minute to confer
Mr.
with
Chair.
Your Honor, to
Mr. Chair.
clarify
Hold on.
with the
Are you
permission of the
referring to
Honorable
a
Congressman.
legal advice? Would you like to confer with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you
just-
confer with your client first.
Yes, Your Honor.
We have a 1 minute suspension.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
thank you, sir.
I'd like to reiterate the question.
Your Honor, thank you very much.
I just asked Ms. Chu if there's anything wrong with any congressman who can afford to send his children to Europe and Switzerland